Dogecoin to $4 from 25 cents. This is NC Hammer Crypto. My name's Neil. Keeping technical analysis short and sweet. And for those of you who speak English, you need to extend your attention span because you watch the least amount of anybody else. Moving right on into Dogecoin. We're bypassing Bitcoin in this one, but in previous videos I have talked about us retracing to around 618. Obviously we went a little bit further. And we had this retracement back up, which is what? More or less this. So we are at the 0.5, trying to break up to the 0.618 for the Fibonacci retracement. If we can close above this previous high, we can start seeing that upward momentum, potentially to 29 cents. 29 cents is what needs to be broken for us to see a further increase in price. However, in previous history, I've talked about Bitcoin or Dogecoin pushing over the 200 EMA to the 25 cent mark, potentially the 29 cent mark, which we hit. We had that retracement, and with that retracement, we tested off support, pushed above the 200 EMA, and then retraced to the 618. Some consolidation, another push up to the 29, a little bit beyond, but ultimately held underneath that 29 cents, showing a little bit more resistance than expected. And we had the push down. So with the push down, we did not hold this 24 cent mark. However, the 21 cent mark is clearly support as this consolidation validated that. Then we had a higher low, and this, if this closes above this previous area, or does not go below this point, I guess this point essentially, we have another higher low. Personally, I don't think we're going to be pushing anywhere past 24.4 for Dogecoin. It is a meme coin, keep that in mind. But me personally, I'm thinking about selling some of my Tornado Cash as that is up well over 100% in profit. Ooh, it just keeps going up. So if you've seen my other video, by the time I posted that, we're already up a couple more percent. If you have not entered, you can use the MEXC reference link below and get 10 USDT for free. And I always recommend using a VPN. But enough about Tornado Cash. I'm thinking about selling some of that as it is peaking. And we're obviously going to see some higher highs if we're closing above this previous one. So I may wait it out a little bit longer, but then sell some of it and do a futures trade on Doge, because Doge is building up very nicely above the 24, almost 25 cent area. We've held support here before. We've held some resistance, but now it is some support for sure. The CM Guppy is causing some pressure, same with the 200 EMA. And this thing, with a futures trade, say I take out $100 of Tornado and do like 50 to 100 leverage on Dogecoin. Once it starts pumping, once we get that validation above here, that is where you would have your entry for at least a scalp to the 0.29. If it breaks beyond the 0.29, we're really looking at the 618 from previous history, around 35 cents. Beyond that, the one at 0.488, almost double money. So, $100 times 100x leverage times 100%, all that seems good to me. Volume is volume is decreasing, price is increasing. We have divergence. RSI is very, very healthy. We may have a little bit more consolidation before this yellow line starts pushing the purple further up, creating higher highs. Everything is looking very good for Dogecoin. This is just my personal opinion, as my personal opinion has been ridiculously accurate since May for Tornado Cash. But if you've been in Tornado Cash at $7.50, 11, 10, or 13, me personally, I'm looking to see if we get some rejection here around $18. However, we could be getting closure above this previous high, and that could mean the next bar pushing upwards, or we could be testing this $15 mark, potentially a little lower, before we get more buyers, more volume flooding in, and then start pushing up towards 27. But, you win some, you lose some. Tornado Cash, as long as it's in profit, you can start piecing that out, putting it in other things like Dogecoin. And if you want to gamble, there's always leverage trading on MEXC. Reference links in the description below. Like and subscribe if you have not. And good luck, have fun with it. I'll work on some of the other coins here in a few minutes.